Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Ritual League 3.13. In this episode, we have another versus. It's friendly versus this time. Don't worry, we're good. So we got the Elegant Hubris versus, wait for it, the large cluster 12 socket. But don't worry, this is actually really fucking cool, and so is the Elegant Hubris. So hey man, just sit back, relax. We got some comparing to do. I have a bunch of things to do here. It's a lot of work. Okay, so what I've got here may not be the best example for this. I know that. All right, I want to start this off by saying this is just what I have. All right, based on what I'm playing, this is my perspective of the situation. So I will say right away at the beginning, both seem really good. They're different. They're both hard to get. They both are unique and cool, and I approve of both. So if you go either one, you're really not making a bad decision, which is what I thought originally when I first saw the large cluster 12 passive. It just looks like huge damage, NDS, so that's pretty good. And then we have big damage and minion life out of our Elegant Hubris. It's pretty good. So now, my build without either of them. So my normal large cluster, and without using the Elegant Hubris, 1.3 with my carry-on golems. Okay. When I add, we'll do this one first. When I add the large cluster, so this is 7 more passives over my original. My original is 5 passive to get 2 jewel sockets, and this is now 12. And we lose renewal, and then we're still vicious by it. And then it's 12, and these passives are the 10%, 12 ES, minion attack and cast speed 3%, and then it has 35% effect. So they're like 16 ES, and it's, so then it's like 190 ES. So you can see that from the original 3279 to 3591, I gained 300 ES because of using this cluster of 7 points. It's actually really good. That's really good. I don't get that out of an Elegant Hubris, so that's cool. And then the second thing is big damage. Yeah, you go up 390,000 damage or something just for using 7 points for an Elegant Hubris. So if you can get this, which I think it's hard to get, I think this is hard to get. I think it has to be an 84 and everything for the 35% effect. But if you can get it, hey, it's a good option. Next one. We have back to my original cluster, and then I enabled my current Elegant Hubris. So this is a 160 damage with 80 minion life. So the 80 minion life is something that his large cluster doesn't do. So this is 8,000 life. It's it's like 25% more life because they had 32,000, giving them 8,000. This is gigantic for 2 points. On my Elegant Hubris, the jewel would kind of look shit without this extra third point. But instead, yeah, so in total, all these points for the jewel and converting all this, 12 points. So I had to pay 7, obviously, for the upgrade here. But this is more damage. And then it has the life. So it has 25% more life, and then they have the more damage, for 140,000 out of only 2 points in my build. So again, I think that's specific to my build, but then I obviously don't gain the 300 energy shield either. Like it's a big diff. Obviously we have extra skill points because I didn't use them on the extra ES here, so that's a thing. You have to keep that in mind. But that large cluster is actually really cool, and I also think that the Elegant Hubris for flat damage in my build is pretty good too. And then if you wanted to compare this even more, if you made this a triple Slumlord, it goes to 2.1, so it's 240 damage out of 12 points. So this is 12 points though instead of the 7. But then yeah, we don't gain the energy shield, and we don't gain then we don't have the minion life either. So but it's big damage. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool if you actually math it out. They're very comparable to each other in like damage and stats per point. If you get these bigger Elegant Hubrises, if you did even more, like if you got another 2 point, so 4 notables out of this, it's even better. But obviously both are hard to get. And this is what I'm noticing about it. It's like, well, we've both mentioned things that are actually kind of interesting. So then I show, yeah, if you have the 3 slumlords, I actually showed it in a separate POB. 2.1, but we have the less minion life, then less ES, and it took more. It was 5 more points. So that's a point, but this is 400,000 more damage for 5 points. That sounds pretty good. Like, we lost the energy shield, let's say, but then if your whole plan was damaged, the elegant hubris is pretty fucking good at that. Then we have this one where I peek. Okay, what if you, because we can look at the level, 95. So if you strip out the energy shield nodes and stuff, have enough points to do the new large cluster and my elegant hubris, let's say 240 damage, you go 2.5 million DPS. And so that's really cool. That's real fun. That's real silly, dude. You know, that's stupid. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's huge damage. We went from the original, just go back. So this is in 19 points, basically. The original 1.3 to 2.5 using both large cluster and the elegant hubris. And then if you go back, if you go all the way back to the beginning to recap, 1.3 without either. And this added 390. And just on DPS alone, it's like 390 divided by 7 points. And it turns out to be like pretty good damage. 55,000 per point. And then you have the extra energy shield. So this is actually pretty good. And it might be easier. I'm not sure which one's easier to get. I'm not sure. It's actually a good question. And then this was more points. And so if you actually go back and we go to the 240 damage where you gain, oh, whoops, let me do it properly. Go to this one. We got the 160 with the life. So we go to 184. That was 530,000, right? Because our original is 1.13, 131, yeah, 530,000 divided by 12. We get 44,000 damage per point, so it's slightly less damage, but we have the 80 life, which is 25% more life of the minions, which is gigantic, and that's like a huge number, right? But if you had turned it into the damage, I did this one just to show, like, because it's just damage against damage, let's say, and so I did the 2.1 with the triple damage. So it would show as it's like 770,000 divided by 12 points, and it's 64,000 damage per point. So then you actually can get more just pure damage out of the elegant hubris, and you could actually get this to be 1 less point. So it could be 70,000 per point, and then it could be, if you had these two as well, then let's say it's, you get fucking you go 5 slumlords. Like, you could go more insane out of an elegant hubris. You could get axiom wardens, you can get aura effect, armor. There's so much more stats you can get out of an elegant hubris than just what the large class. So it's hard to compare, right? That's the thing, we're getting a little bit more stats. That's why I say both are really good, and they're both great options, and it's actually cool to have more options. And so I like having this and then being able to compare them and see, and it's really competitive. Like, it's either the best for what it is doing, or it's like right up there of we have some of the best shit, and that's really fucking cool. Good job, Gazzy. That's some good shit, man. That's some good shit. And then yeah, overall this looks pretty good. I'm now you know, up in the air. I'm like, yo, what do I do? Damn, this looks pretty good. What do I do? Yeah, I might just do this like double thing. Sack the extra energy shield and just do the double. But then we'd have this would be Axiom Warden instead, because of my current jewel. So 2.2 and then the 41, and we have 3492, and this doesn't look that bad. The benefit is well, more damage, because I think my current was pretty low, and I was looking to get more damage, and I had points like this. So if I just spend these 7 points in this large cluster, upgrading my basically current large cluster to a better one, that's kind of cool, right? Damn, dude, actually sick. He upgraded my build. Easy clap, dude. And yeah, it might then it makes it like, oh, that you don't have to go for as insane of an elegant hubris. You could actually be okay with, dude, the minion life from the elegant hubris is really like the main reason behind this. If people don't know, it's part of, like, later when you go deep delving, if you have a 240 elegant hubris, your shit can survive like anything. It's absolutely insane, because you have to think one was 25% more. I was also thinking as a hypothetical, I deleted it, but you could think about, people have also said it, so I have a 3-point voices, and they've said, well, wouldn't you just go with another voices here? And what would I do with the points though? Like, it's kind of interesting. It's actually crazy, because then, yeah, what do you do in that situation? It's really weird, and it's pretty awkward, because you kind of need minion damage, and this is actually a great way to do it, through the elegant hubris or this large cluster. So I was happy to calculate this with you guys, like bring it to you and compare it, because you guys wanted it, and this is pretty cool. It's a lot friendlier of a versus compared to before. I hope people appreciate that. I hope they like this, and I hope they learn something that they could use either. So just to show it again in case it wasn't clear, the jewel is, I have a video on the elegant hubris, and then this jewel is 12 passive skills, 12 to maximum energy shield, 3% increased attack and cast speed, 35% increased effect of the small passives, and then vicious bite. Yeah, that's probably what I would go for. It looks good, like I said, damage per point, and then the extra energy shield. This seems solid, and as a like balancing act between the attack speed and maybe the damage from this, or even, dude, you could just sack you'd never go the elegant hubris, use this, but I don't know where you get the spend the extra points then though, but like I PO-beat it if I took out the elegant hubris. It still looks really good. My elegant hubris is really good, but like I had said before, you wouldn't want to use an elegant hubris if you got less points from it. The more points, the better. So yeah. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad I could bring this update to you guys. This little versus of elegant hubris versus it, and in the end, they're both good, and they're really close. And it's actually just like comes down to which one's easier to get, which one you get lucky on, maybe which one's cheaper, or you find whatever happens. It might be easier to go the large cluster compared to the elegant hubris, just because of the mass confusion around this jewel, because you have to roll it, and it's random compared to, it's more random compared to this, I guess. This might be really hard. I haven't looked up how bad this is to craft yet, but it looks like I would just use crit in the garden on a 12 passive skills. It'll guarantee vicious bite, and I would just chaos spam crit on an item level 84 large cluster 12 passive. So if people stayed to 13 minutes, they might have just got the crafting method. That's what I might try today. Oh, here, I'll give you the final. Today, I have 214 of these rituals. I was testing the market at 1 to 10, but they don't sell. I bought at 13, I believe, 13 per X, and I'm going to fill up a tab of these vessels. And what's my idea for this? I've seen all these people. They're doing bosses, all right? That's the meme. That's the meme going around, all right? What I'm going to do is there's this called Infused Domination. I'm going to run Burial. So I've got 45 of these. And then we also we could do the regular one. And then the other one I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Influence. I'm going to get rid of this one obviously first. I'm going to maybe like store it. Run the Influence. When you hit the Influence proc, you get 30 packs of Warlord monsters. These Warlord monsters show up in your rituals. And then 40 packs. And so I'm going to add Influence to my maps. When I don't have Influence, I'm going to add Elder Shaper to get more monsters in my things, including shrines. And then I'm also going to do the actual real influence of like Warlord and all the Conquerors and shit, and get them in the actual rituals, and we're going to store them. And I've already done this before, but now I actually have a plan for it. So I have filled the vessels, and I'll show you some examples. 128, 141, 163 plus a boss. Let's just take that one out for a second. 96. So it's hard to know how many monsters you actually have in the ritual. Some of it's very misleading, like Beyond doesn't count. Delirium doesn't count. 90% of the game doesn't count. So what counts for me, what I found, is influence, like alking for pack size, valing for pack size, like big quant, big pack size, shrines, and all that, like shrines, influence, and then big pack size. Effect pack size, sextants for pack size, maybe sextants for mobs, the packs might count. So Bloodfill Vest 125, we got 126. My biggest is 207 or something. Here's a 142. So I was thinking, like, if we found a 200, right, then you can get, and this is when I was like super juicing. So I was testing. You can see I have some small ones, and you have to pretty much keep track of how many monsters are around the ritual that you kill. So if you kill one and it had like 4 shrines around it, it's probably gonna have a lot of monsters. But if it doesn't have shit, and you saw like 5 monsters, you kill them, and you could instantly start the ritual, there probably isn't very many monsters. So then you decide if you want to actually spend one of these vessels, if they're like 10C per, almost 9 to 10C per. And so I have a bunch stored up, and I'm going to fill up more, and we're going to keep track of big ones in here, of course, and then we're going to run them and see the loot, and see if juicing with the vessels with this strat of like actually trying to target as many monsters as possible, and then putting 800 monsters into a map. Well, just even this one, let's say 4 of these, 640 monsters plus 4 bosses just in the ritual. I did one as a test. I had 70 headhunter buffs. What the fuck? As a minion build in one ritual. Okay, either way, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my patron and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I'll see you guys today in the stream. It's going to be great. I look forward to playing a lot of Ritual and having fun and leveling up this Scion Ascendant that we've been doing. And I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my patron and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all that support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the patron and the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!